When you have $0 in your pocket, the world doesn't just ignore you, it forgets you exist. The rent notices pile up. The calls from creditors don't stop. And every night, you lie awake, wondering if tomorrow will be worse than today. This is the story of someone who refused to stay forgotten. From empty pockets and unpaid bills, to building a life worth more than $500,000 in less than 5 years. And if you think this could never be you, watch this video to the end, like, share and comment. Fade to a small, dimly lit room. A mattress on the floor. No furniture. In 2018, Sarah lived in a cramped studio apartment barely big enough for her bed and a rickety wooden chair. She had no savings, no assets, and $15,000 in crushing debt. Every day was a gut-wrenching choice between keeping the lights on or putting food in her stomach. She worked a dead-end job that paid a measly $350 a week, not even enough to cover her basic needs. She skipped meals to keep her phone connected. She ghosted friends because she couldn't afford to socialize. And worst of all, she felt invisible. In a city where your worth was measured by the size of your bank account, Sarah was a phantom. She was exhausted, starving, and on the brink of giving up. But here's the brutal truth about hitting rock bottom. Once you're there, you have absolutely nothing left to lose. One sleepless night, something shifted. Not her bank balance. Not her circumstances. Her mindset. Sarah stumbled upon a late-night podcast about a woman who turned $200 into $1 million empire. For the first time in months, Sarah asked herself a different question: why me? But what if me? The sound of her ancient wall clock ticking grew deafening. She realized no fairy godmother was coming to rescue her. No magical windfall. No winning lottery ticket. Just her brain, and the precious hours in her day. That night, she made an unbreakable vow: in 12 months, she would never again feel this helpless and broke. Watch this video to the end, like, share and comment. Sarah started small. She sold everything she could spare on online marketplaces. She taught herself a high-demand skill: social media management. Her first gig paid her $30. Less than a cheap meal at the restaurants she used to longingly walk past. But it was a start. Footage of a digital payment notification: $30, then $100, then $300. She didn't splurge on new clothes. She didn't upgrade her ancient laptop. Every single dollar went into honing her skills, investing in essential tools, and growing her fledgling online business. By month 6, she had earned $800 in a single week. By month 9, $8,000. By month 12, an astounding $28,000. Footage of Sarah's old apartment, now empty, replaced with a modest but sunlit new space. The discipline was excruciating. While friends posted vacation photos, she reinvested every cent. While others partied on weekends, she worked tirelessly. The sacrifices seemed endless until the results became impossible to ignore. $1,000 gives $10,000 gives $100,000 gives $500,000. 3 years after that night in her rundown studio, Sarah had built multiple thriving income streams. Her debt obliterated. Her savings over $180,000. Her investments growing exponentially every month. Here's the uncomfortable truth most people never want to face: escaping poverty is not just about making money. It's about becoming someone who can be trusted with wealth. Someone with the iron discipline to say no to fleeting pleasures, and yes to long-term prosperity. Sarah didn't just accumulate $500,000, she forged herself into an unstoppable force. The woman who once had $0 to her name now possessed something far more valuable than money: complete control over her destiny. Slow zoom on Sarah smiling, sipping coffee, watching the sun rise over the city skyline. If you're staring at a $0 balance right now, remember this: you are not broken. You are not too late. You are not invisible. You are simply at the starting line of the same grueling race every self-made success story has run. The distance between $0 and your first $100,000 is not measured in luck, but in discipline, sacrifice, and relentless action. Thank you for watching this video to the end. Like, share and comments, and see you in the next video. But Sarah's journey wasn't just about the numbers. It was about the transformation of her entire being. In those early days, when she was selling old clothes and taking on any gig she could find, Sarah discovered something powerful within herself: an unwavering resilience. Each small win, each $10 earned, became fuel for her determination. She learned to embrace discomfort. The late nights spent learning new skills, the weekends sacrificed to client work, the constant push to improve, these became her new normal. Where once she felt powerless, Sarah now saw every challenge as an opportunity to grow stronger. Her first big breakthrough came 6 months in. A client, impressed by her dedication, referred her to a larger company. Suddenly, Sarah wasn't just managing social media accounts, she was crafting entire digital marketing strategies. The learning curve was steep. There were nights when she wanted to quit, when the imposter syndrome threatened to overwhelm her. But she remembered her promise. She remembered the feeling of having nothing. And she pushed through. By month 9, Sarah had built a reputation as a go-to expert in her niche. She was no longer chasing clients, they were coming to her. The $8,000 she earned that month wasn't just money. It was validation. Proof that her sacrifices were paying off. But Sarah didn't let success go to her head. She lived by a strict rule: 70% of every dollar earned went back into her business or savings. No fancy clothes, no lavish dinners. Every cent was an investment in her future. As her income grew, so did her financial literacy. Sarah devoured books on investing, attended workshops on wealth management, and sought mentors who had walked the path before her. She wasn't just earning money, she was learning how to make it work for her. The transformation wasn't just financial. Sarah's confidence soared. The woman who once felt invisible now commanded respect in business meetings. She spoke at local entrepreneurship events, sharing her story to inspire others. But perhaps the most profound change was in her mindset. Poverty had once seemed like an inescapable trap. Now, Sarah saw it for what it truly was: a temporary state that could be overcome with the right mindset and relentless action. 3 years after that pivotal night, Sarah's life was unrecognizable. Her multiple income streams, digital marketing services, online courses, and smart investments had pushed her net worth past the $500,000 mark. Yet, it wasn't the money that brought her the most joy. It was the knowledge that she had rewritten her own story. The woman who once couldn't afford dinner now had the means to help others escape poverty. She started a mentorship program, guiding others on the path from $0 to financial freedom. Sarah's journey taught her that true wealth isn't just about the figures in your bank account. It's about the richness of your mindset, the depth of your resilience, and the impact you can make on others. As she stands now, watching the sunrise over a city that once seemed to have no place for her, Sarah reflects on her journey. The path from $0 to $500,000 wasn't easy. It was paved with countless sleepless nights, moments of doubt, and sacrifices that seemed endless at the time. But standing here, on the other side of that struggle, Sarah knows one thing for certain: every hardship, every setback, every moment of despair was worth it. Because they didn't just lead her to financial freedom, they forged her into a version of herself she never thought possible. To those still at the beginning of their journey, Sarah's story is a beacon of hope. It's proof that your current circumstances don't define your future. That with unwavering determination, strategic action, and a willingness to learn and grow, you can rewrite your financial story. Remember, the journey from $0 to financial freedom isn't about overnight success or get-rich-quick schemes. It's about consistent, purposeful action. It's about viewing every dollar not as something to be spent, but as a tool for building your future. So if you're watching this, feeling trapped by poverty or financial struggle, know this: you have within you the same power that Sarah discovered. The power to change your life, one decision, one action, one day at a time. Your journey starts now. Not tomorrow, Not when conditions are perfect, but right now. Because the truth is, there will never be a perfect time to start. There will always be obstacles, always be reasons to wait. But as Sarah's story shows, the only way to change your life is to begin, even when it seems impossible. Take that first step. Sell something you don't need. Learn a new skill. Reach out to someone who might need your services. Start small, but start today. And remember, every great success story begins with a single, courageous decision to change. Your $500,000 journey is waiting. The only question is, are you ready to begin? Thank you for watching this video to the end. If Sarah's story resonated with you, please like, share, and leave a comment below. Your journey to financial freedom starts now. See you in the next video.